I think I just perfected the ultimate classical musician live gig setup. Hi, I'm Ivan. I'm a classical guitarist. And like many of us classical musicians, I've struggled with live audio setups, and might have just cracked the code to the best and compact wireless quick setup that you can get done in under 5 minutes. Here's how. So throughout this video, I'll walk you through all my equipment step by step to see how it all comes together. This is demonstrated on a classical guitar setup, but if you have another classical instrument, this might be of use to you as well if you need some sort of amplification. All products I'll put links to in the description down below. Please like, subscribe, comment if you enjoyed. Let's start off with a microphone. So I like to use this pretty cool and innovative new piece of tech by Cloudvocal. It's a wireless microphone that can mount directly onto your guitar without having to do any damaging modifications to it. It's a huge improvement to playing with just piezo pickups. For one, it's a condenser microphone, so it's like a real legitimate sound. There's even some options as to how to mount it to your guitar or to manipulate the gooseneck to sort of calibrate the sound that you want. What I like about this microphone is that for gigs, you have basically a streamlined setup and you don't need to worry about any kind of trip hazard running to your PA. Since this microphone sits inside of the guitar, you have the freedom to move around a lot, which is pretty nice when you're playing a gig. It's even compatible with an external battery bank. You just plug it right in and you'll get hours of usage out of it. I just have some Velcro attached to the side of my PA and that bank and just attach it right on when I'm playing a gig. Due to the setup options that you have, you can also mitigate feedback a little bit better depending on your environment. The kit does come with everything that you need to get going, including an antenna. I did buy an upgrade on the antenna just to make sure that I didn't get much signal interference as I'm playing through gigs. It does sell for an additional $33. I recommend you bundle it with your microphone order because you get free shipping with it. Otherwise, that shipping is going to be kind of high. If you decide to get it later on, you can go to this website. Shipping is a little bit cheaper here and faster too. So, coming on to the PA. I have a battery-powered PA, which is what makes the setup all work so streamlined. It is the Electro Voice Everse 8. And this speaker is pretty sweet. It has a bunch of features I'll show you here. This PA offers an insane amount of onboard features, like a mixing app that I use all the time, and it's like pretty much what makes this the game changer. You can pretty much control the mix just directly from your phone, and you don't even need to set up a mixer. It saves you a bunch of time. So this PA offers a crazy 400 watts for it being battery powered and can last for around 8 to 12 hours. For comparison, the Fishman Loudbox and the Bose S1 Pro range around 108 to 109 peak decibels. And this PA peaks at around 121 decibels, which doesn't seem like a big difference, but sound functions logarithmically. So a difference in 10 decibels is just about twice the perceived loudness. This is an all-in-one PA that's got you covered for up to 2 people, 3 if you're creative with it. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. There's a stereo input here on the back that on input 3, you can probably do a stereo input instrument as long as it's a TRS connection. That could be your third person. Otherwise, you can just Bluetooth connect your phone if you want to play backing tracks on there. So here's the app that I use. The EV. You just connect to the speaker once it's on. You have a lot of features right off the bat. You can mute the speaker on and off here at the bottom left. Let's get into the mixer. This app allows you to control and adjust each input channel and get some basic EQ shape as well. You can use a slider wheel on the right side to adjust those settings. You even have the option to toggle the phantom power on input 1 on or off and choose if it's a line or a microphone input on the bottom right hand side. Alright, here's the effects tab. You can change which effect that you like. Lots of different ones from reverb, in the hall, plate, chorus, delay, and looks like you get some slapback, some narrowing, and doubling. So my favorite part is this game changer right here. There's an onboard parametric EQ here on the main tab. This lets you really fine tune any treble frequencies in any environment really specifically so that you can wring out the pesky feedback issues and maximize your volume potential on the PA and never have to stress about it. Surprisingly, this is something that most musicians who suggest equipment don't know about or talk about as far as live audio. It's the ringing out. That's something that's really mainly understood among sound engineers and not very many classical musicians. So there it is. Those two pieces of equipment are really all you need to have like a super fast 5-minute setup. Keep in mind that if you want to be able to hear yourself, you can invest in some in-ear monitors so that you're able to listen to yourself in the playback if the venue gets a little too active, a little too loud. There's some pretty affordable ones. This one here includes two in-ear receiver packs. So if you're playing with someone else and you're both connected to the speaker, you can both listen back to it. You also need a couple of extra necessary cables to make the setup all work together, but thankfully they're pretty inexpensive. What you're going to need first is a DC 12 volt to 12 volt connector to connect the PA to the in-ear monitor system. The thing that kind of caught me off guard though is that Everse has a specific barrel shank size internal diameter of 2.5 internal and 5.5 external. The standard ones are 2.1 internal and 5.5 external. But no big deal. I just bought this cable right here for $9. It comes with two, and you can just connect it straight from the PA to the in-ear monitors. One thing that you want to be sure to be very careful with is to not mix up these two cables, because both the receiver and the transmitter are powered by the same connector. So you don't want to connect the 12 volt into the guitar microphone receiver because it will blow up that box. Thankfully, the Cloudvocal cable comes with a little tag on it that specifies it, so I just kind of like put it at the end to make sure I never confuse the two. The other cable that you're going to need is just a simple XLR female to male in order to connect outside of the mix out port of the speaker into the in-ear monitor system. And this goes into one of the inputs since it's just going to be coming out mono anyway. So one thing that I liked about this here is if we take a look at the back, we have a mix out, so if you, in case you want to record yourself or connect it to another speaker, then you can totally do that. I've done this for a gig actually. And a 3.5 millimeter jack for maybe like a click track or a click track onto one of the other inputs. Headphone output here, and you can set your channel frequency with it. I've tried this system on a few gigs and they sound pretty good for the price. Here's a small audio sample coming out of one of the receivers so that you can kind of hear what it sounds like. I personally invested in some higher quality earphones and you'll get a better sound out of them. This brand is pretty good if you want to get yourself some affordable in-ear monitor ear headphones. They're pretty good noise cancellation. They sound pretty good. They also kind of look kind of stylish. You can choose your color as well. Now that we have the pieces, let's do the test setup to see how long it takes. I also bought myself this little tray. It clamps onto my speaker pole whenever I'm playing on a gig, and it will seat the transmitter for the in-ear monitors and the receiver for the guitar microphone. But it comes with hardware and tools that kind of float around in the little tray right here. I just super glued some magnets inside to keep them from floating around. So for small to medium venues with maybe up to around 60 to 80 people maximum, this PA setup is like a perfect and modest setup for really any gig. I use a wagon to help me carry my equipment, but you can easily pack this into a PA bag or satchel. So there you have it. That's my 5-minute gig setup. This setup would be perfect if it wasn't for its drawbacks, of which there are a few. First thing is that just due to the premium quality of the equipment, it can get pretty expensive pretty quickly. I'll tally up right here the price of the equipment that I use. The Everse 8 to start off with is around $800 at the time of recording. If you go for the 12-inch speaker, that could be $1,100. That's if you're trying to get a louder sound. Cloudvocal microphone runs about $400 at the time of recording, so already it can be kind of pricey. I got these things a little at a time, but the thing that makes it worth it for me is the ability to have feedback control and loudness. Loudness is especially important when you're doing classical guitar. And the last thing that's non-negotiable is the fact that the microphone isn't in the way and it's better for feedback mitigation. Another huge drawback to this system is that even though the microphone is of great quality, for whatever reason, Cloudvocal decided to make the broadcast frequency 2.4 gigahertz, which, if you don't know, that's pretty much the same broadcasting frequency that Wi-Fi routers and most phone Bluetooths use. So you essentially have to compete with a bunch of other signals whenever you're playing at a live venue. So you want to stay away from Wi-Fi routers as much as you can with the microphone receiver. That's why I also got the extra antenna, which helps to focus just the signal from the microphone directly to the speaker. The good news is that the Cloudvocal microphone has the ability to do something called a frequency sweep, meaning that it will find the best frequency in that 2.4 gigahertz range to operate so that you won't have to deal with that kind of interference. Hey, check it out, guys. I got this new light that looks like it's actually a window. It's being cast from this little thing over here. Anyway, so if you're tired of kind of like a chaotic setup that takes forever and dealing with difficult sound checks, this setup is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of stress, and you can sound like yourself every time you're playing a gig. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment with your musician setup. And I like to see what other classical musicians are working with. But for now, thanks for watching. Peace.